Donkey Kong Bananza, the game where you can break literally anything, breaks even more if we build. But why? A while back, one of my buddies suggested I do a challenge where I would have to go through the whole game of DK Bananza without using any of the 5 Bananza abilities featured, even though they are essential to beating the game because of the powers they give you, like flying or jumping really high. In this game, we'll eventually reach the lagoon layer where our challenge starts. We're tasked with bringing this music disc to this Elder Kong in order to get a Bananza ability and progress to the next area. But of course, we can't do that. We'd have to find a way to skip it, and that would be easy to do since there's a glitch to skip that entire part of the game, but Nintendo did think of this happening since a mandatory boss battle does not spawn in unless we get the music disc. So getting the Kong Bananza is unfortunately required to beat the game. But that doesn't stop us, because just having the Bananza doesn't really mean we need to use it. We can just skip the Bananza training and go straight down to fight the Pika Bruiser, which can be taken down with a Boom Rock. This will bring us to the next area, the Canyon layer, which can effectively be skipped by doing some easy trick jumps. All we really need to do here is fight the boss battle against the Stompin' Clumper, and it's manageable as long as we grab its golden hair, which explodes the rest of the body. This brings us to a fork in the road called the Divide. We're given the choice of what the next layer will be, and we could either go to the Freezer layer with the Zebra Bananza, or the Forest layer with the Ostrich Bananza. So I went for the Freezer layer, since the choices here shouldn't really matter if I'm not even getting the abilities. In this layer, there are some thin bridges that are blocking our progression, and the only way to get past these is by using the Zebra Bananza, but I can't use Bananzas, so I had to think of something else. Like, do we even need to walk on the bridge? The movement in this game is pretty good, I'm sure I could. Well, what if we just looked at the title of the video? Could we maybe build our own bridge? It seems throwing chunks on the pre-existing bridge makes it stronger, so we could actually walk on top of it without needing the Zebra Bananza. Okay. Oh, okay. No way! Okay, we actually made that. Okay. Eventually, once we reach the next area, we're shown yet another bridge. And you'd think this would take forever, but there's a little feature called co-op mode in this game, where we're given the power to use Pauline's voice to copy a material, and then throw that material 8 times before needing to copy it again. Using this, we can copy the snow to extend the bridge, and even make our own separate bridge to reach the boss battle without getting the Zebra Bananza. It's as simple as that. And speaking of simple, Poppy Kong is super easy because of 2-player. We can actually just spam attacks on it. The boss right after Poppy Kong is also pretty easy, even though it's supposed to require the Zebra. So as you could probably guess, Pauline can take care of things here. But now we've made it to the junction, where we're supposed to break this Terra Voider to build a bridge, then backtrack to the forest layer and complete that world to finish the bridge. But since we can build, we could potentially just build to the other Terra Voider and skip a whole world. Or I could do something cooler and skip the world skip by building straight to Void Kong via world skip. And I can do this too. There's no way we made that. You can see my bridge! You can see my bridge in the cutscene, what? You can still see the bridge! That's awesome. After doing world skip, we are required to follow Void Kong around the underground and throw some rocks at him. Of course, we don't need to use Bananza abilities for this. He's even nice enough to replace our bridge. And now, we've reached the Tempest layer. And unfortunately, I do think we have to use a Bananza here. Yeah, as far as I know, this layer in the game is actually impossible without using a Bananza ability. Why do I think this? Because I've tried literally everything. In this layer, we are tasked with defeating one boss battle cut up into 3 segments. The first segment can easily be done without issue, but the second section is impossible to get to because we need to collect a key that can only be claimed by vacuuming up this tornado using the elephant. As far as I know, all items inside of tornadoes cannot be collected without the vacuum, since you can't even collect these coins by clapping. It's really just not that great. So I got the elephant, there's nothing I could do to avoid it, and, you know, that's fine, because even though we've lost the challenge, that doesn't mean we have to stop. So I grabbed the key using our first Bananza, fought the boss, and made my way to the final section of this layer. All I had to do now was build upward to reach the boss, and that was absolutely terrifying. I actually made a ladder to get up there this time. Oh no. This works, Okay. No way I made that. Okay, I just built a ladder up there. After the boss, we can go ahead and skip both the landfill layer and the racing layer because there isn't really anything here. So onto the Radiance layer. The first section here makes you think it'd be concerning since Pauline actually says this.
Time for some Kong Bananza!
No, I don't need Kong Bananza. There's some gold here that makes Kong Bananza not needed. After this, we are told to talk to the Elder so we can get the Snake Bananza, but we can just skip all that by doing some trick jumps. And we got the key so easy. That was first try. This brings us to the next sublayer, where we are supposed to use the snake to do some platforming, but you already know what I'm going to do. This leads us to more building and a boss battle I was able to defeat in style. Slap him. Yeah! Just smack him a bunch. Now we're at the Forbidden Layer, where all we have to do is pay some money to get further in the area, realize we don't have enough money, and then build to the boss battle against Void Kong, which is completely unchanged since we actually can't use Bananza here. Oh wait, you're supposed to beat this without Bananza powers. So after defeating Void, we can find our true villain, King K. Rool, and follow him through the planet core to reach this giant unbreakable bomb. This is something only the Kong Bananza can break, which means we're stuck once again. But do we really need to break this? I mean, this just allows us to use a minecart, so why don't I do what I've done this whole time? Build until I can't anymore. I'll just keep making the... Oh, I guess at some point I can't build anymore. Well, if I can't build, then I guess it's time. Oh, we can just go through. What? It's awesome. Here we are, the final fight. DK versus K. Rool. In this fight, K. Rool throws around a bunch of rot that deals damage to us, but we can usually dodge out of the way and punch him before he moves to a different area. It does get really annoying after he's below 50% HP though, since he'll start spawning in arms that'll track our movements and also spread more rot. This makes the fight scary, but far from impossible. So with K. Rool down, we can reach the credits that are so obviously fake, and then start the true finale, where we begin our way up to the surface to beat K. Rool for real this time in New Donk City, where I immediately need to build up to progress. This is because once we start moving, there is lava below us that also starts moving. Thankfully, we can pretty much get past everything without 2-player until we reach this bridge that can only be accessed with the Zebra Bananza. Once again, we know we can build to get out of this, but we also have to worry about the rising lava and the enemies that can break our bridge. This part is horrifying, but that's just the start of the craziness, because after we pass this, we have to do a trick jump to reach this barrel, and then climb up to the next bridge, or should I say, the next 3 bridges. You can see just how high up I'm going to need to build. But there's a slight problem. I can't make a bridge. I reached this point and I don't have anything to build with. So let's just respawn. Maybe I can grab that fractone I ran past earlier. Or not. Okay, let me get this straight. I need to build to probably max height. I can't fall off the stage since balloons won't work on lava. And yeah, the lava rises. Well, that sucks, but at the very least, I'm not alone here. Apparently, someone who was watching me livestream this also tried this challenge out, so they already know what not to do. I just have to listen. So I went back to the start of New Donk City, because I was forced to. I built bridges, I copied the fractones, and I made it back to the bridge and listened to my guide. So I built, and built, and built this monstrosity of a bridge all the way to max height. And since I wasn't ahead of the zebra bridge, I didn't have to worry about the lava. I went up so high, in fact, that I was actually able to pass the lava trigger and make it to the second zebra bridge. Yeah, not the third one. Max height in this area only goes up so high, so we can't even reach the third bridge. This means if we were to go up to the third bridge using the second bridge's cannon, we'd fall right back down and have to start over. But for some strange reason, there's actually more than one max height. Because if I shoot fractones onto the third bridge, they're gonna stick, meaning I can just make my own bridge standing on my pre-existing bridge, so I can make sure I don't die getting to the third bridge. So that's what I did. I built a bridge as safe as I could until... We're good, we're good. Don't worry. Don't worry about it, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No way, that's so close. I fell. I thought I did everything correctly, but the one thing I didn't know was the fact lava doesn't even touch the third bridge. I thought I had to be fast, but I just had to build some more, which is what I had to eventually do since, of course, I had to build yet another bridge going to max height. So okay. I did, and all of that work led to this. Okay. We've made it up. What's your plan for the boss fight? Win. Okay, we've made it. No way. This is it. We've reached the true finale, and all that's left is to fight. During this battle, K. Rool once again covers the arena in rot. I can't even fight against him most of the time because I'm trying to avoid getting hit. The only thing really helping me out here is the vacuum he uses sometimes that gets rid of the rot. During that attack, I'm actually able to get quite a few hits in, but it's still a very minuscule amount of damage since he has so much HP. But that's all we can really do, up until K. Rool gets around 50% of his HP. This is when he starts doing different attacks that we can't get past without Kong Bananza. The first attack has a bunch of bombs fall from the sky that spread rot, and I had to go to the edge of the arena just so I wouldn't take any damage. But this made it really hard to navigate since I don't have any space to stand on, and that held up until one of K. Rool's hands actually turned into gold once I dealt enough damage to stun him. And this gives us power. And that power was to explode the rot to make pathways and actually explode the falling bombs. This gave us space to actually move around in, and eventually... Yes! No way! Hold up. We actually did it. So, is it possible to beat Donkey Kong Bananza Bananzaless? Definitely not. But I'd say we did really good. We only had the Kong and Elephant Bananzas unlocked, but we only needed to use Elephant for one thing. Maybe one day we'll do this completely Bananzaless. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope you'll watch some of my other videos, and yeah, that's all I got.